Okay, now what I want to do is play kind of a Hendrix style blues, you know, or like a Hendrix chord style blues. In other words, we're going to play the 3 changes of the basic 12-bar blues, but we're going to use the Hendrix chord for all 3, and I'm going to pick a different key. And then we're also going to implement that little blues box as well, and I'll show you some of those ideas. So let's just talk about the 3 chords. The 1, 4, 5 is what they're called. And I'm going to pick the key of G. So a G Hendrix chord would start with the G note on the A string, which is the 10th fret. So that's the first chord. The 4 chord of G, just counts up 4 letters in the alphabet from G, with G as the 1. So G, A, B, C. So C is the 4, and the C is on the 3rd fret of the A string right there. And then the 5 is a whole step up from the 4, and it's right here on the 5th fret. So watch, I'm going to just play through it once and then I'll break it down a little bit. So I'm grooving between those 3 chords, all with the same shape, and then I just did a little bit of improvising using that blues box idea in the beginning. So look, if I'm up at the Hendrix chord with the root on the 10th fret of the A string, my little box is right here. 10th fret on the A string, so 10, 8, 10, 8, or 8, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10, mixed with the chord, or 8, 9, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10. Now I can target my note that I know I'm heading towards. See that? I targeted, I knew I was running, you know, it's a split second thought, but I was running out of time to get to the change, and I just nailed my middle finger to the root and then just got to the chord. So I'm going to throw another chord your way coming up in the next section, and we're going to keep exploring this stuff, so hang tight. Okay, so now I want to show you the only Hendrix chord, or the 7#9 chord we've been doing, is with the root on the A string. Now there is a Hendrix chord with the root on the E string, and I'm going to show that to you right now. And I'm going to show you two different options, and show you how you can mix those together. And then they have a little blues box as well. Big shock. Okay, let's talk about this. That last module we were playing a G Hendrix chord, or a G7 sharp 9. We're going to play that same chord, but we're going to play it with the root on the E string. So where is our G note on the E string? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's the 3rd fret of the E string, right there. Right there. So here's how you'd play it right there. You put your middle finger, it's actually really kind of the same way. Middle finger on the root, index finger on the half step below it, and then ring finger, but we're going to cover the D, G, and B, and the high E is just kind of muted. You know, I'm just focusing on the D, G, and B right there. And there is the same chord, but the root on the E string. Check it out. So those are actually the same chord, but notice how they have different qualities to them. So if you're passing through time in a jam and you know it's kind of a groove on that chord, you can do either one or mix them together. Now you'd say, why would I do one or the other? Well, the A-rooted version tends to be the more popular one. The way the chord's laid out, it kind of cuts through the mix more. This one, since you're using more of the low strings, it gets a little muddy, especially with distortion. But they both have great concepts, and they both have their purpose. Now, when you're doing it with the root on the E string, you have the minor pentatonic underneath it. And I really want you to at least know the main pentatonic. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to play the that same G blues idea that we did in the last module, but with all the E roots. And the little blues box is a little different. You don't have 3 strings, you only have 2 strings underneath. So if I've got that right there, then when it's the E-rooted version of that chord, you have that. And then you have the A string too. You have the extension into your regular pentatonic. Okay, here we go. So remember, the 3 chords are going to be G 7 sharp 9. The 4 chord of it is now up here on the 8th fret. So C 7 sharp 9. And then the 5 chord is now the 10th fret of the E string. So check it out, starting on G. Now the 4 chord. 5 chord. So remember, now I'm going to mix and match, okay? So just keep track. The 3 chords are G7 sharp 9, C7 sharp 9, and D7 sharp 9. but now I'm going to mix and match a bit of improvising with the E-rooted and A-rooted versions of that chord. So for G, it could be this or this. For C, it could be this or this. And for D, it could be this or this. Anything goes. Here we go. Okay, G. C. Back to G. D. Now G. So that's the G again up here, the E-rooted G, all the way up on the 15th fret. Okay, so coming up in the next module, I'm going to show you one other option for that Hendrix chord. I mean, it's never ending, but I got one other that I think will appeal to your Hendrixian sensibilities. So hang tight.